Can't wait for you to love me. 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 I know you'll drive me crazy, but you'll still be my baby. Feels good knowing you won't leave me. Can't wait for you to.
Hello, dudes, dudettes, non-binaries, and everybody in between, as we are an inclusive podcast, and welcome back to Talks with Tosh. Happy Pride Month, y'all, and also happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. We love a happy gay. We love a happy man. Does it get much better than everybody being happy? I just love that we get to share this month with mental health awareness for men because it is not talked about enough, and I just wanted to say that today because it just makes me really happy. I want everybody to be happy. Speaking of mental health, I decided to chat with you guys today about my struggles with my mental health because this week was a huge week for me. I struggle with anxiety, massive anxiety. It was really bad when I was a kid with specific things. It was like OCD tied in with ADHD, tied in with anxiety. It all kind of goes hand in hand at the end of the day. So I have like a touch of all of those things, but a lot of anxiety. As an adult, I learned how to deal with it a lot better. I now am able to function pretty normally, usually, as long as I keep up with exercising every day. Meditating for me is what does it the most. Eating healthy, all the classic stuff like that. But more recently, I've been really struggling. It really came to a head this week, and I thought I would talk about that. So I, as I said, struggled with anxiety my whole life. As I got to 2020, when I was newly single and I was living alone for the first time away from my family in Portland instead of Eugene, I mean, of course, I was a freaking wreck. I was single for the first time in almost 10 years, basically, and I was living alone for the first time ever, paying my own rent, creating my own life. And that was all very overwhelming in and of itself. But on top of that, I had to, function with my anxiety. And I feel like I used my previous partners as a crutch in order to not have to fully feel all of my pain in my anxiety. I would use my partner, which of course now I know you can't do that. You have to rely on yourself. You have to find your ways of functioning as a human being with your mental illnesses, whatever they may be, or issues with your mental health. I would say 2021, I was in full peace. I think that's the most peace that I've ever felt in my entire life looking back, even though I was a little bit lonely because I was still in Portland and I didn't have a ton of friends in Portland, although the friends that I did have lived in my building with me, which was wonderful. But I was in so much peace. I was meditating and reading every day and eating healthy and going out on the weekends still with the friends that I did have, still being social. I was dating, casually because I was fresh out of seeing my ex at that time. So I was trying not to get into anything serious, but I was also trying to connect with people still and learn what I like and what I didn't like. And it was such a beautiful short time for a few months where I was at full peace. I truly don't remember more peace that I've felt in my life than that time. That being said, I think I've ever since I went through that time in my life, I've tried to replicate it, which I think has been kind of a mistake. I think it's gotten me into a headspace of wanting things to be different than they are rather than accepting the present moment like I usually am pretty good at doing. But more recently, I've really been struggling with racing thoughts, like heart rate is up a lot, things like that. It's been a little scary, particularly this last week. And I know that drinking adds to it. I don't drink during the week, which is amazing. And I'm proud of that. But I think more recently, I've been out of that routine and I've been, going out for a drink on Wednesday and then going out on Thursday and then waking up Friday hungover, and it hasn't been working. So now this week I went into full, no drinking mode this week. Like, you've got to get your shit together, Tosh. This is not working. Because on Monday and Tuesday night, I struggled with the most anxiety I've ever felt physically and emotionally. I was sitting in my bed at night trying to lay down and fall asleep, but I I was almost in a full-on panic attack both Monday and Tuesday night this week. It was horrible. I was just going over so many things in my head about the future. Like, I'm freaking out in some ways about not being able to find my future partner. I freak out about, oh my God, am I going to have a heart attack right now if I don't stop freaking out? Like, this is classic anxiety thoughts. And obviously we know they're not real, but when your mental health is so past a point that, it's like past the point of return, the point of no return, sorry. And it was so scary to fully feel that, to the point where I set up an appointment this week with a mental health specialist aside from my therapist. I do have a therapist, but this is a specialist through my company that I work for that I found. And I finally reached out about medication. I felt like it was time. First of all, I just want to say that I am very proud of myself for making this decision to reach out about it, because this has been months, if not years in the making. I've asked my mom about taking medication in the past, someone who I really trust with a lot of these types of topics. I've asked my therapist herself about medication in the past. I've been through so many months of doing my daily routine of yoga and or journaling and meditation, trying to, have less screen time, which is really hard because my job is all on a screen. So that's not really something I can fully control. So all of these things that I was doing that were supposed to be positive, they weren't doing anything. And then I was waking up in the middle of the night or not being able to fall asleep at all, freaking the hell out for, not no reason, but for no reason, to a point of like almost panicking. I was jumping at every sound in my new apartment because, of course, when you move to a new place, you're going to hear new sounds and you have to adjust and realize what things are and what things aren't. And usually I can, talk myself out of a shitty place in my head pretty easily. But this recently has been really bad. And to the point where I'm so tired the next day from not being able to sleep that I don't have the energy to do my normal yoga, meditation, cooking, whatever, all of that stuff. The things that were good for me were no longer doing anything. I didn't feel joy doing yoga. Usually yoga, if you know me, you know that yoga and meditation keep me alive. And they are, those two things have saved me since 2020. Those are the reasons why I've been in such a good headspace. Why 2021 was one of the best years of my life is because of those two things. So when those things stopped working, I started really panicking and thinking, what is wrong with me? This is not okay. I'm eating healthy. I only drink on the weekends. All these, why is it not working? And then you freak out in your head with the anxiety. This is anxiety. You go through in your head. Why is it not working? Oh my God, what if I have this mental illness that's not anxiety? What, something else is wrong with me? Oh my God, am I going to die? Like, all of these things go through your head. It's so dramatic, but it seriously is so scary in the moment, especially at night when you don't have anything to calm you down that you normally would in your day to day. All of your people that you could text or call are asleep. So then you feel like a burden if you reach out. And it is such an endless cycle of pain and torture. So I decided to make that appointment with that specialist, and I'm so grateful that I did. I don't know if it'll solve all my problems right away, but I am trying 2 different medications on different nights. I don't take them at the same time, but I will take one or the other, half hour before bedtime. And like you can take like 1 to 3 or whatever it is, depending on how severe your anxiety is feeling that night. And, oh, 1's not working, I'll take another. Oh, 2's not working, I'll take another. And then that's it. And they should be working at 1 to 3, and for me, like, they just make you a little drowsy. They do settle the thoughts a little bit so far, which is really nice. I'm going to try the next couple of days not using it to see, if it's going to work. Because she said that if I'm using them every day, then of course I need to think about a daily medication for anxiety, just generalized anxiety. But yeah, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to chat with her and see what happens over the next couple of weeks, and we will make the decision based on that. I am eternally grateful to myself for reaching out and trying something new, a new medication, because when you struggle with OCD and anxiety issues like I do, it's really hard to try something new that alters your whole body because it can change things. It can make you, there's so many different things that can happen to your body when you try a new medication. So I'm grateful to myself for being open and one day at a time. I'm also so grateful for the close people in my life who have shared their experiences with medication with me to not push me, but to make me feel more comfortable with the idea of trying medication. And it doesn't have to be forever. That's the beauty of medications like this, is it's something you can take temporarily to get your, whether it's your hormone levels or just whatever's going on in your head, it can level it out, and then you can go back to not having it. That's the beauty of these medications. So if you're somebody out there who's looking into taking medication for something that you're struggling with, I highly recommend it because you don't have to keep taking it forever. That's something that I did not realize. I thought that it was something you were stuck on for the rest of your life and you'd be screwed without it. That is not the case. Not always. Sometimes people do need the extra help in order to live a functional life, but it might not be you. And that's really cool, and that really opened my mind up to doing it. I'm also grateful to my provider for being calm and patient and talking me through everything and making sure that I felt comfortable taking the medication, making it my choice, because I've known a lot of people throughout my life who have had medication shoved down their throat when they weren't even sure that the person had that exact condition. And that's part of the reason why I haven't taken things, is because I've been really scared of what I've seen. It's been really, it's been mind-boggling to watch some of the people in my life go through that with licensed doctors shoving things down their throat when they don't actually know for sure that's what the patient has. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I just went on a little spiel there, but I am very passionate about this. I think it's frustrating that that can happen to people, and it ruins people's experience with doctors. I've had people in my life in the past who truly would never see a doctor again because of their one experience that they had with one doctor making them take a medication, because it screwed them up completely. It can screw up your head. So I'm just very passionate about that. I highly recommend reaching out. I'm very lucky to have access to it. That's a whole other issue that we don't talk about enough, is some people can't afford going out and getting that medication or therapy or any of that kind of counseling. And that is, again, a whole other issue. I'm very blessed, and I recognize that. I recognize that I'm very, very blessed to have a good job that has great insurance and allows me access to those things. Not everyone has that. So I just wanted to say that. I want to close out today by saying it's okay not to be okay. Male, female, non-binary, whoever you are as a person, if you are struggling with something, it's okay. You're not a bad person. You're not a burden. Please reach out. Whether it's anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, doesn't matter. It's a really big struggle, and we don't talk about it enough, particularly for men. That, of course, is the issue that we love to speak about this month, because not only is it Pride, it's also Mental Health Awareness Month for men specifically. They do not reach out and get the help that they need as often because we as a society make men feel that if they reach out, they're a sissy or they're not man enough or whatever we have wanted to say in the past. That's not true. That's not the case. Please reach out if you're struggling, because you are human, and some of us humans are hardwired differently than others, and that is okay. This was a heavy one today, you guys. Like I said, I want to talk about things and be vulnerable. Here I am. I struggle with anxiety. I'm proud to talk about it. I'm very excited to hear people's feedback and to hear what you guys think. Maybe have people reach out and tell me their experience, because you are not alone if you're struggling with mental health issues. It's more common than you think. Please reach out to me on my Instagram, Talks with Tosh podcast, or Imolara, Imolara, my main Instagram account, where I also post my music. Either one is fine. You can DM me, you can comment, whatever you like. Let me know your thoughts. Maybe let me know your experience with mental health. Maybe let me know how gay you are. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, God. I'm sorry. Just in honor of Pride Month, you can be gay or straight. I don't care. I'm sorry. I just had to get a little bit of a laugh in there because that was a serious topic to touch on today. from your friendly neighborhood anxious bisexual. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next Thursday. Happy Pride!